5 years ago on this day, Haiti was rocked to the core by a magnitude 7.0 earthquake. As we look back at the death and destruction, we want to welcome in Daphne Durrett. She is a reporter at the Palm Beach Post. Daphne, you spent 3 weeks after the disaster. This hit very close to home for you, not only as a working journalist, but you have family in Haiti. What was that experience like?
Well, as you know, Jay, from the short time that you spent there after the earthquake, the devastation was really severe. But I think what stood out to me the most wasn't just the devastation, because I had a lot of people coming up to me afterwards saying, oh, was it terrible there? And yes, it was. But I think the thing that I took away was the resilience of the Haitian people, just the incredible stories of survival and people who literally put together the scraps of their existence and found a way to go on.
The magnitude of this was unprecedented. Have you been back recently?
I went back a couple of times after the earthquake. My parents have been back more recently than I have. And what they've seen is that there are some improvements, but there's still a lot of improvements to be made. There are a lot of people who are still living in tents. So we have a long way to go, not just economically, but politically and all the way around.
As you touch on that, billions of dollars was sent into this country to really revive the infrastructure right now. 5 years later, can you pinpoint, just in your short time that you went back several years ago, how does Haiti look today?
Well, again, Haiti looks, there are spots where there has been rebuilding. There are some spots of promise, but again, there's a lot more that needs to be done. And I believe the last estimate that I read was something like $13.5 billion had been poured into the Haitian economy. And that doesn't, Haiti today doesn't necessarily reflect that amount being spent, but I'm a Haitian as much as I am an American, and so I have high hopes that the country will be able to continue rebuilding.
How tough was that for you to walk on that soil there and see that firsthand?
It was personally tough. Both my mother and father's family homes were destroyed, but again, like I said, a testament to the resiliency of the Haitian people. The first time I went back to visit my grandmother's home, my maternal grandmother's home, the house was completely destroyed, but in a sitting room area where my grandmother used to sit, there was a cross that was still standing and hadn't been shaken by the earthquake, and I think that's a sign of the resiliency and the great faith of the Haitian people.
Signs of life, and certainly something that we've all been accustomed to seeing, and the resiliency as you talked about. Daphne Durrett, thank you for your time and appreciate your concern and coming in and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thanks, Jay.
Appreciate that. You bet.